the first one is every 1st of January, me and my dad used to go to the beach and swim in the, well, I say swim. I would kind of just run in and run back out because it'd be too cold in the sea, because obviously, as you know, we Malaga is right next to the sea. It's a coastal city. So that's what we do every 1st of December. It was absolutely freezing. So I think that's kind of why we stopped. Or maybe because one year we couldn't because of whatever.
Yeah, I think it was just the weather was just too bad. It was really rainy or something. We just didn't do it. And then after that, we just didn't do it again.
Yeah, then I think we just forgot about it the next year.
Yeah, well, that was a kind of cool tradition, yeah.
Yeah. We should try to do it again this year.
Okay.
if I'm awake, because I don't know if, anyways, yeah. And then the second one is every Christmas our meal would be the same. It would be a very Danish meal. And I was wondering why it changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because grandma left, basically, or my mum got a bit tired. But what we would have was duck breast, caramelized potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we have?
Pears, which is the Danish rice pudding.
Yeah, it's true.
With cream.
And the pear, the cooked pears with jam as well.
Yeah,
it was delicious.
Pears and wine with the jam, and then for dessert, I would always make a Yule log.
A Yule log, yeah. And it was amazing. Yeah. But as most things, it was very taxing and very stressful for my mum. So I think
well, you know what? It's funny that you say that, because we never actually set out to make that meal ever. It was always the conversation always veered towards, come November or October or whatever, mm-hmm. the conversation always veered towards, once it was pretty sure that we would organize Christmas Eve, which we normally do, the question was, what should we make? But ultimately, because grandma was at home, it was always grandma that said, I want duck. And you always like your duck. So it was always a winner. So we just had the duck. And to be honest, because we did it so many times, it wasn't really that stressful for mom to make it. So, and what do you think of those traditions? Do you like them? Do you miss them? Do you remember them with fondness?
I remember them with fondness. I remember the jumping in the sea on the 1st of January. I remember it being very cold, and maybe the 5 minutes after being in the water not being very happy because I was freezing cold. Dude,
do you remember the coldest time ever? Speaking of, that's mixing two traditions, mixing that one with the one New Year's we spent in the mountains, and because obviously there's no sea in the mountains, but there was the river.
Yeah, there was a river.
And oh my God, I will never forget that day. That was
freezing
so cold. I mean, that was literally, water coming down from the freezing mountains, and it was like maybe 1 degree. Oh man.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that one. But it was fun, yeah.